Oh my goodness, I was kicked off. Kicked off Facebook Live. I'm back. I'm back with my tree of life and my Buddha, which isn't an idol, it's just a symbol of peace. And it's a reminder that if we stay in the heart space and at one, like the tree, we can stay in a place of peace and oneness and love for all, no matter what people do, say, or act. Now, no matter how they act. And because in this world we are split between the dark side and the light side, what we know is called narcissistic behaviour and empathic behaviour, both of are due to wounding. So they are not the ideal human. The ideal human grows from the seed into a shoot, into a budding flower or sapling, and then into a tree, and then blossoms. That's the idea of what we're supposed to do here as humans. But so many of us, unfortunately, in this realm, stay stuck as a seed and never grow because we never get watered and we never get light, and we never get light is truth. Okay, so many of us in the human realm at the moment are stuck as seeds, and that means that if we didn't get the proper nutrients that we needed and the proper light and the proper healing waters, that we haven't actually been able to expand into our true essence of who we are, which is our DNA, soul blueprint, what is written on our DNA. So for example, I came in with gifts. I mean, we can all have gifts. We have the gifts of patience, the gift of love, the gift of kindness, the gift of compassion, blah, blah. But we have other gifts as well. Some people are great at doing things like art. Some people are great at singing. Some people are great at dancing. Some people are great at building stuff. And we all have our gifts. And unfortunately, when we go through a process of schooling, we are told, you know, pretty much programmed with what to do, how to do it, and then funneled into certain directions according what maybe our parents think or the school think, and we're not able to really expand and grow our own light to shine light on our seed within us, our gifts within us, so that we can expand them. So unless we're really, really lucky and we have people around us who encourage our own creativity and our own growth, and look into our own seed to see what we as children have that is special about us, then we just grow into someone who goes to work, comes home, watches telly, goes to bed, and follows the system. It's people who break out of the system, who decide that they want more for themselves and maybe go into self-employment and express their own creativity, who are growing into the sapling and into the tree. And it's these people at this time who will be able to stay more centered and grounded and more peaceful and know what's going on in the world because they have done their growth work. But I'm not saying that anyone is better than anyone else, because we are all here to have different experiences. And as I said, we are split between dark and light side, the narcissist, the empath. Until you overcome those splits and you're able to become at one and grow into your fully blossoming tree, then you're going to be split and you're going to be fractured, broken, acting like a victim, wondering what's going on, and the forces of nature are going to be blowing you over and crushing you. That is just the nature of this game on here on earth. And that's why I say it's so important to focus on the tree of life. Whenever you get a little bit worried, anxious, fearful, and feel like a victim of your world, come back to the source, the center of you, which is love, which is your heart, and just breathe. Take time to just breathe into that place and close your eyes and remember the visual I showed you yesterday. If you looked, of the tree of life with the energy going all the way around, you are, even if you don't know it, a self-sustaining individual, so that you can feed yourself with goodness. That's not all the critical words that other people have said to you or all the bad things that you've got going on in your head. It's good thoughts, good words, good feelings, and good actions. And if we feed ourselves, if we give ourselves up these good nutrients, if we allow ourselves to have light instead of dark and see the truth of who we are in love, in the light, and if we give ourselves the healing waters, that is time for us. You know what it's like when you sit in the bath? And you sit in the bath and you've got a candle and you've got some beautiful music, or you've got a little fountain there just trickling away, and you can just relax and you can just let yourself sink into the water. Or maybe when you go to the spa. When you go to the spa and you sit in the hot water and the bubbles are bubbling away, isn't that the most wonderful place to be? This is like the healing waters, and you can have healing waters inside your body, but you are the one, we are the ones that have to give ourselves that healing water. We have to be able to access it. We have to be able to open enough to let it in. It's like the light comes naturally from source, the sunlight, okay? If a tree is overshadowed by bigger trees, it cannot get any light. It stays in the dark and it doesn't grow. Similarly, if it is covered by a cover, a shoot that's growing up from a seed will not get any water and it will not grow. So light and water is really, really important for our health and our well-being, and for us to feel like we are being nurtured, so that we can grow into self-sustaining trees. Really important to come back to that place of I am a tree. I am a tree. I cannot be pushed over. I cannot be manipulated. I cannot be moved. My roots sink down deep into the earth and I feed from the nutrients in the soil. I see myself sucking up all those nutrients into my body, and I see those nutrients going out into my branches, and I see my leaves unfurling, and I see the sun shining on my leaves, and I feel the warmth of the sun, and I can feel the sun helping me to create chlorophyll, which is energy, which creates an energy system in my body that comes in all around, up and around in my system, and helps me feel light and love. And that's also the breath. So when you're taking deep breaths and you're breathing in that water and that light, you can really feel revived by the natural resources, not on the outside of your body, but on the inside. Everything is belief in this experience that we're going through right now. Everything is belief. So what we can do in order to keep ourselves calm and at one as we go through these times is to remember that I hold the key to my own life force. No one else outside of me can take it away. I hold the key to my own life force. Nobody outside of me can take it away. That means people, television, anything that's going on outside. Close your ears to it, close your eyes to it, go within and open your inner eye. People say about the third eye, the Buddha, this is relating to our intuition. That means tuition within, tutoring within, teaching within. Because when you learn to go within, you have information and wisdom within you that can also be part of the nutrients that help us grow. So, keeping your hands on your heart and just keep breathing in as I'm speaking these words and imagining and visualizing the tree, imagining the light shining down, imagining you're lifting up the healing waters from underneath, and just keep breathing in for 4, holding for 4 and breathing out. I think it is for 8 actually. The people who have managed to do this have created for themselves a little bubble of existence. When you ever heard of anyone say, I'm just staying in my bubble, it is literally that auric field that looks like an apple. So the apple shape is again self-sustaining as the energy goes all the way around and up through the middle of the core and all the way around and up through the middle and all the way around. And you can imagine the light source shining in through the top of the apple and down the core all the way out to the bottom. Okay, so the apple is the aura of our bodies, which is why when we are whole and at one, we are a self-sustaining enclosed fruit. That's what's meant by the fruits, okay? When the bite is taken out of the apple, that's a distortion to our auric field, to our energy, to our DNA. And the distortion caused us to split and fracture in the fall of consciousness of man. And it's literally the bite that was taken out of the apple. Our auric field, which looks like an apple, had a chunk taken out of it and has left us distorted. And that's why it's important for us to put that back. This is why we have to go within, like the Buddha, like Jesus said, we have to meditate. And we have to find our center again, to receive the light and the healing waters and the nutrients to build up our energy body for this time, no matter whether we have taken an injection or we haven't taken injection. Either one, what will support us and help us through these times and heal us is our own energy, our own frequency and vibration. Because Einstein said we're 99.9% energy. That means we are 99.9% empty space. Now, I know ourselves to be a holographic reality, and Tesla said think about life in terms of energy, its frequency and its vibration. And so some days you might wake up thinking, oh, I'm really low vibe today. Or, hey man, high vibes, you know. I'm talking about good vibrations. Okay, so everything in life is about frequency and vibration. And the chakra system relates to that frequency and vibration. The chakra system is literally like the traffic lights, if you like. There are lampstands, 7 lamps on a lampstand going up the tree trunk. We've got 7. So we've got the lower one, which is the root chakra, then the sacral chakra, then the solar plexus, which is in the abdomen. Then we have the heart chakra, then we have the throat chakra, we have the third eye, and then we have the crown chakra. And they all have different jobs to do. And we can switch them all on with our energy, light them all up. And this is what energizes us and lifts our frequency and lifts our vibration. And this is what we need to be doing at this time of chaos, cataclysms and confusion in the world, when people are split into light and dark and at war with each other. We cannot resist. What we resist persists. We will create more war and darkness. We have to bring ourselves back together in oneness so that we can hold ourselves firm no matter what is going on in the world around. And that's why it's so important to spend time meditating, just going within, breathing, imagining the tree of life. You know what? I've been meditating since 2010 or before that perhaps. And when I meditated so much that I cleared all of my chakras, and they literally are like spectrum of light or a spectrum of sound. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do you want me to sing the whole song? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do, mi, so, so. No, I won't. You've got to bring a bit of life and a bit of love. And that's where that comes from. It's a spectrum of tuning. It's like tuning in to yourself. So as you're breathing and doing the tree exercise, you can literally go through the spectrum. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Check how you're feeling. And when you come out of the meditation, you're feeling do, rather than when you went in, you were feeling do. Okay, it's like the notes on the piano. Do, 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 do. How do the tinkly ones at the top feel? And how do the ones at the bottom feel? Do, 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 do. Have I done that the right way around? I don't know. But anyway, do you want to feel dark or do you want to feel light? Do you want to feel at peace and at oneness, or do you want to feel fractured? You know, some notes go together beautifully and make a melody. And that's what we want to be able to create within ourselves, a beautiful melody. And even no matter what is going on all around, we can still create that beautiful melody within us. And that's our soul song. So we keep a high vibration, a high frequency. It's going to fend off, it's going to keep a big aura of rainbow light all the way around us. And that is what's going to protect us at this time. It's going to keep all the nasties out and it's going to keep all the goodness in. And so what I would say is, as I said, some people are trees right now on the planet and some people are still seeds under the earth in the dark. But I'm just giving this information out to anyone who's listening because, and I'm going to make this into a playlist for my YouTube so that when people do come to that point of needing a little bit of guidance about awakening to, you know, the truth of what's going on in the world, we can, you know, there's a staged, you know, a pattern of a pathway. That's what I'm trying to do here, and also to help people stay at one. What I'm going to talk today is about what happens when a seed wakes up to the darkness that's going on around them. They've taken in enough water to sustain their seed and grow their seed, and then they start seeing, actually, I'm a bit uncomfortable now. My seed has got a bit big and a bit bloated, and what I really want to do is break out of this darkness that I feel like I am surrounded by, because this darkness is enclosing me and it's making me feel a little bit cramped, and I am too big for this darkness now. I can see beyond it and I want some light, so I'm going to shoot some roots down into the ground, and I'm going to make myself feel safe and secure in my own skin. Because I remember that I'm not dark like all the darkness around me. I remember that I'm not the things that people have told me I am. There's something else within me that feels like it needs to express itself. Actually, I feel like I want to be free from all of this bullshit, this darkness, I'm saying darkness and using it as a way of describing being blinded, or feeling literally blinded, feeling like we don't know where to go. It feels like I'm looking around for a door, but I can't see the door because it's all dark. So when that happens, we really, really reach for light, because it gets so uncomfortable that we put down roots and then we stretch up to find the light. That is the most difficult point of the tree's growth, because I don't know what the statistics are for seeds, but you'll probably notice that, you know, not all seeds become trees. Not all seeds become trees. And the good news is, when you are a tree, you know, wonderful things happen. Like this morning, Jesus gave me a song. Ding dong, the witch is dead, the wicked old witch, ding dong, the wicked old witch is dead. And it's so brilliant. And the thing is, it's great to have people who are trees around and about you so that you can see where you're going, and how wonderful it is to be able to shoot up into the light, past all that darkness, overcome all the lies and the darkness that are around you, and step into the light. And you can see other people have stepped into the light and you think, well, they're expressing their true nature. They're not bogged down by this 9-to-5 dull job. Get up, go to work, come home, watch telly, go to bed. They are doing something which is expressing their own DNA, the information on their DNA. Maybe I can do it too. And that, in essence, is what life is. It's a school which encourages people, by being so dark in this realm, it encourages people to stretch up and grow into a shoot and then into a tree and blossom and then produce fruit. This is what it actually says in the Bible, and in a lot of scripture it speaks about trees and seeds and flowers and fruits, but you know, this is all parables because it's easier to understand the nature of life in this third dimensional realm, which is incredibly dark, because we have dark forces fighting the light forces all the time. And this is where we have to start within. We have to go within. We have to see that everything is within us. We have the power within us to change everything. And it's all to do with the way we think, the words we speak, the things on our heart, so how we feel, and the actions we take. And you know, there's so many lights in the world doing wonderful things. And if they knew their power, and if they knew that they were in a system of darkness, and had an opportunity to step outside of that darkness and express their truth of what's written on their DNA, then that would be great. But the problem with this realm is that people are so blinded that they don't see the truth. But I think people are beginning to see the truth now, because they're looking about thinking, this is chaos. Why are these politicians acting this way? They're making it really obvious that they are not the people to trust. Who's the person to trust? I am. I am. Did you know that that's God's name? I am. It means literally, I am. This is the secret of life, to know that everything that you speak after the words I am is powerful. So, you know, apparently this guy called Moses at the burning bush spoke to God, and God said, and he said, what's your name, God? And God said, I am that I am. And he was saying, as in, I am your strength, I am your power, I am your force. And all of this thing, you have to think, you know, call on God. God is the generator, overseer, and destroyer of darkness. God within, generator, overseer, destroyer, God. Generator, the creator of your own reality. Overseer, the protector of your own reality. Destroyer of darkness, destroying all the lies and the bullshit. You are sovereign, you are free. God is within, God is love. God is a powerful force that we can reach and attach to and, you know, receive light from. And that's the wonderful thing, and that's what meant by God. But of course everybody thinks, oh no, she's talking about God, goodbye. But when it gets bad enough, people are going to be on their knees going, oh my God, can you help me, because I don't know what the truth is anymore. Well, you have to go within. You have to go within and find the truth, because the truth is within us. And at the end of the day, it's love. That's what the barometer is. It's love. What feels like love to you? One of the best books that I read when I was going through my empowerment mastership training was this book called Power versus Force by David Hawkins. And it's got here on the empowerment scale. And up here are all the things that feel like love to us. And down here are all the things that feel like opposite to love. So this is the light and this is the dark. And many, many people live in this area. But the trees live in this area. But the seeds live in this area, and that's what we have in the world. It's like these seeds here. These are the broken, the ones who have the chunk taken out of the apple, that they are distorted and they're not fully self-sustaining. And this time that we're going through is going to encourage people to go within to seek the light, right? And the light is love. So down here we have shame. Oh, should have brought my glasses. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire. That means like wanting things you haven't got. So that means like feeling lack. Anger, pride, right? These are all pretty negative, very low frequency, low vibrational states to be in. They feel like we don't have power. Why don't we have power when we do have power? Because we're like batteries. We're like batteries when we're born. We're like batteries, fully powered. But there are forces outside our world, ourselves, that pull on our energy and deplete us of our power and put us into states of shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. Let's give some examples. When would you feel, let's go down the scale. So let's say you were a beautiful child full of courage and love and vivaciousness. Is that a word? And somebody did something to you. They stepped over your boundary and they caused you to feel anger, right? That happens. Why? Because not everybody in this world is nice. Because there's a control issue. People want to have power over others and put others down to make themselves feel good. This is a classic narcissistic trait of someone who is wounded and will wound others so that they feel good. And that causes the child to feel angry. And then they will start feeling resentment instead of just letting it go and thinking, actually, that's about you, not about me. I'm going to let that go. If that child has not been fully shown how to self-sustain themselves with love internally so that they know, actually, you can say that about me, you can do that to me, but it isn't going to affect me because I am a tree. I'm fully self-sustaining and whole because I love myself, right? So I have God within and God loves me. And if God loves me, then I love me. So there's not many children that can do that. We have to teach our children better. And that's why the consciousness of the planet is raising at this time and shifting into a higher consciousness. So that's anger. Then there's lack. Well, we can feel lack when all around us there are things in the media telling us what we haven't got. So of course we're going to feel lack. We look at everybody else and think, oh, they've got that, they've got that, they've got that. Classically, people sell things to us through something called the fear of missing out. FAMO, they call it. So it's the fear of missing out, because it works on the fact that you should feel ashamed and fearful that you haven't got enough, and that puts you in a state of lack. Okay, so that's lack. And then there's desire, and then there's fear. Of course, if something comes at us that causes us harm, causes us pain, causes us to lose ourselves or part of ourselves, we do go into fear. Yesterday, I was watching in a field a frightened rabbit, and it was just sitting there staring at me. I thought, oh, is it frightened of me? And then I looked to the left and I saw a fox, bearing in mind that this is a simulation we live in, a holographic simulation. So it was a message for me anyway, but the fox was actually walking away from the rabbit, wasn't coming towards the rabbit, wasn't scaring the rabbit at all. It wasn't like running after it or prowling. It was just nonchalantly walking around. And the rabbit was scared and just sat there, didn't move. And this is what rabbits do. They freeze. And people react to fear in different ways. They can, there is different responses to fear, isn't there? There's the, what is it called? Fight, flee, and freeze. Oh, I don't know. Can anybody write what it is? I'm trying to think. Yeah, one is fight, one is flee, one is freeze. I'm sure there's another one as well. But that is the response of fear. We don't know what to do, and so we act in different ways. Some people run away, some people fight, and some people freeze. And that's what's going on in the world right now, because the forces outside of us are trying to make us feel like we don't have power, that we're not strong enough, that we are at risk of suffering or death. When you create your tree and your self-sustaining oneness with God, you know that you're an infinite being of light and you can't die. You know that God protects you against anything and that you are safe. So fear is not a problem anymore. It says more than 365 times in the Bible, do not fear. And so this is where, when you build yourself up from a seed into a shoot, it's hard because you go through a lot of fear, and people will be going through a lot of fear right now at this time. But you know what? If we don't face our fears, instead of running from them, freezing or fighting, if we face our fear and courageously stand up, which is what a lot of people are doing right now, courageously standing up, speaking out, sharing their truth, holding their own, then that changes the fear and shifts it into courage. This is what we're being asked to do, because do we want to stay in these lower states of disempowerment and darkness? Or do we want to rise up into the light? This is the opportunity we are being given at this time by the world. I don't see it as a duality. I see it as the dark helps the light to grow. Like I said, when it's dark enough, the dark helps the seed to grow. When it gets dark enough, the seed has no option but to put down roots and go, I'm out of here. Or it can just mold and die. You know, that's another option. But and that's what we're being that's what is being given to us right now. We have a choice to make. Should we just rot and die and go with the artificial intelligence? You know, once we wake up to realise the issue of going on in our world at the moment. Or do we say, no, infinite intelligence, I want to hang on to that. That's something that I want. I want to be strong. I want to be at one. I want to have love. I want to be able to sing and dance and be like the musicians on the Titanic and just play and play and play whilst all this chaos, cataclysms and confusion go on all around. I'm standing tall and strong like the tree. Nothing can make me fearful because I respond with courage and strength. I generate it. I protect my own strength and courage and love. And I destroy all darkness because fear isn't real. It's false evidence appearing real. It's not real because we're infinite beings of light, cannot die. So next there's grief, which is obviously, again, the dark side. Use grief and sadness. We're in a realm where we think that we are separated from people when they die, which isn't true because we're a holographic illusion. We're a simulation. There is no death. It just keeps going round and round. There is no separation. There is no death. But again, until you're the tree, you don't know that. So people are in the dark, are left in the dark, thinking, yes, it's sad. I'm separated from all the things I love. But the truth is, love is within us. There's never a separation from love. Love is always here. Love is within us. It's always accessible when we close our eyes and breathe and create our high frequency and vibrational tree of life. Love is always here in the center, in our battery pack. We can charge our battery with love. So grief, we can overcome that. And apathy, well, that's just, again, where people feel powerless. They feel powerless, but that's because the outside forces are telling them that they're powerless. If you've ever been in a relationship with someone who has narcissistic behavior because of their wounding, they will tell you that you're powerless. They will say, you can't do that. You can't say that. That's not right. Look what you've done now. You silly old cow, etc. This is verbal abuse, emotional abuse. It can become physical abuse, or to make us feel apathy, like we're not worth it, we can't do anything, we don't have any power, we're useless, we're rubbish at everything, because we've been told that. Truthfully, that comes from within us. If our energy is feeling like we're powerless, other people will come into our life to show us that truth. It's not the truth in God, your generator, overseer and destroyer of darkness. It is the truth of the distortion. That is the realm that we're living in. This is the realm we are living in. And when people break out of that and create their tree, they live in this realm, and these people will shift to the new earth. But these people are going to have to struggle through these times coming on the earth now because of these mental states and emotional states. So this is why we have to focus on the love and the courage and the strength within us all the time. and choose love, choose ourselves, choose to listen to people who build us up and give us information that helps us, choose to listen to meditations that help us calm, choose to sit in the bath with the bubbles and the high frequency and high vibrational music, choose to give ourselves that time and space that we need away from and detach from all the outside world. Close your windows and doors. It's time to go within. The other negative force is guilt. Well, obviously, again, any narcissistic relationship, anyone who wants to have power over you will use that guilting to make you feel guilty, and that keeps you in a low resonating state. So, you know, you could talk and talk and talk about these states, about how we can made to feel guilty by the media for not being good enough parents or not being good enough workers at work. We're not good enough children for our parents. We're not good enough wives or husbands. We're just not good enough. And that's where that whole guilt thing comes from. And it's not the truth. Once you realize that it's not the truth and you generate love for yourself, and you say, do you know what? I am doing my best. I am doing my best, and that's good enough for me. Once you forgive yourself for all the things that you feel you haven't done your best in, once you allow that to go, you surrender it. This is why forgiveness is the most important thing in your relationship with your God self, or God, the oneness of love, the magnetism that keeps everything together in this world, in this universe. Forgiveness is the most important thing. To ask for forgiveness from a higher power, because sometimes we can't forgive ourselves. And we must, otherwise we'll be trapped in guilt and shame. And these are the most low resonating states of frequency and vibration on the scale of empowerment. The shame that you feel can send you to suicide. A person who feels shame feels that they are no good. A person who feels guilt feels I did something bad. A person who feels shame, I am bad. That is not what God says. God is love. Love says you are good, you are worthy, and you are doing your best. But this world says, because it's a dark world that we live in, a dark realm, unless we break out and become a tree, the world says you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You did that wrong. You deserve to be treated like shit. You deserve to be locked in your house and punished for going out and hugging your family. This particular thing we're going through now is a way of showing us how we are in the dark. Somewhere within people's intuition, they have to find the truth within them that says, hang on a minute, what are you on about? That's not what love is. Unfortunately, it's dressed up in such a big delusion and deception that people actually believe, like it's like gaslighting, what the narcissist does to us. If you look up gaslighting, when you're researching narcissistic abuse, then you'll find information about that. It basically came from a film where it was exploring the marriage of a man and a woman. He was basically abusing her, and he would turn the gas on downstairs and she would go down and say, I'm sure I turned that off. And he kept gaslighting her. He kept turning the gas on and she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't turn it off. I must be so stupid. And he would do things like that. That's what narcissists do to undermine people in severe cases. They tell you that you're not doing things right. And then they go and do it. They go and do those things. They might tell you that you're not allowed to hug someone right now, right? But they're out there doing that. They're doing it. One rule for you, one rule for them. That's been the nature of our governmental system for a long time. Government means mind control. The abuser always controls people's minds through gaslighting, through shaming, through guilting, through making people feel as though they don't have enough power, through making people feel sad that they're separated from love, that they don't have enough, that they are at risk of danger, losing their money, losing their livelihood, losing their job, losing their health. They are at risk of not having enough, that they don't have enough and they're not good enough. All of these things. This is how our three-dimensional system works, and it comes from the spiritual forces that rule, the puppet masters that rule our world. This one world order that is running our world is ramping it up big time so that people go into these states of fear, apathy, grief, guilt, shame, sadness. Well, look, rise up, people, because when you get to a place of anger, that's when this energy starts building in your body and you can do something about it. Because if you want something enough, you get angry and then you move into a place of courage. And at that place of courage is where the tipping point lies. Because when you start taking action in something that you have found out to be true, that is shocking. Oh my God, I lived with this man for 20 years and I didn't realise he was gaslighting me all that time. You know, it was verbal abuse at the start, then it became emotional abuse, then it became physical abuse, and then I realised when he started strangling me and I left. Right? Sometimes it gets so bad that people do not realise. They think they are this terrible person. When things get so bad for humanity with what's happening in the world right now and they wake up to the abuse, they're going to be angry. There's a lot of people who are going to be angry. First of all, they're going to be confused. They're going to be sad. They're going to cry. They're going to have fear, but they're going to get angry. And that's what we want. We want people to get angry. But the enlightened people who are already trees and understand what's going on in our world right now are holding peace because they see the big picture. They're thanking the dark forces for bringing those people out of the darkness and into the light. Because when things get bad enough, people will push up into their own sovereignty and truth of who they are in God, love, the generator, overseer and destroyer. Right, so that's the Scale of Empowerment by Dr. Hawkins and David Hawkins. And if you, and he did that basically by muscle testing. So he figured out what was a strong vibration and what was a weak vibration. And that's how he came to find out that these states up here are very much more of a stronger vibration. And this is what happens when people start acting in courage. They realise that actually, yes, I do have the power. I stood up to my ex-partner and I told him, look, I don't need to be treated like this. I am worthy. I am worthy. I do this. And you tell me I'm rubbish at it, but I've brought up 2 children and I've done this and I've done that and I've done that. They start seeing their worth. And that it takes courage to stand up to people and courage to see the truth of who we are in the world and to look around and say, actually, this is bullshit. I'm going to walk away from this and do something else. That takes courage. Then there is hope. There's optimism. There's a willingness to take action and to get with other people who are like-minded, to create a tribe and a group of people who are willing to stand in the gap for you and support you and to champion you and to help you through, because there are so many people that have done this transformation. We are living in the times of Jonah. That is the times of transformation. The time of Jonah is when the story of Jonah in the Bible is when he ran away. He was asked by God to do something and he ran away. And God caught him by the neck and threw him into the whale. Now, okay, so this story is a parable. So it's a parable. Basically, he went through a transformation period. He had to go through a transformation. He had to step into courage and then he had to step into his mission. And that's what we're all being asked to do. We are being asked to, no matter what's going on around us, hold the love within us, the generator, overseer and destroyer, and push those boundaries of discomfort. Push those boundaries of discomfort to feel as though you can do something. Grab your tribe. Speak together. Speak your truth. Doesn't matter what you do. If you are pushing and you are pushing out through the darkness and up into the light, then you are doing a really, really fantastic job. And you deserve a pat on the back. So I also will mention the next one, which is acceptance. So you accept that there is dark in the world and there is light in the world, and you accept that there is this force that is against you, but you can't change anything until you accept it. So we have to say, okay, it is what it is. What can I do? Because down here, people are in states of, oh, it's overwhelming, I can't do it, it's all too much, it's bigger than me. When you get to a state of acceptance, it is what it is. What can I do? You've acknowledged the problem, you accept the problem, and you ask, what can I do? That's when you can move forwards. And then we've got reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. So I can say to people, stay in a place of joy, peace, and love. But if they're down here, that's not going to work. So it's very tricky for people who are light working in the world right now to create a balance for everybody, because everyone is coming from a different perception. As I've mentioned before, different people have different tinted glasses on. If they're seeing out the lens of fear, they're not going to be relating to joy, peace, and love. They can pretend and go clubbing, but the next day they're going to feel down here again. You know, these temporary things, alcohol, smoking, sex, gambling, they are temporary fixes that fill the void, because this is a void of love. And the truth is, love is within us. We are a self-sustaining system of love and peace and joy in truth. But we have forgotten, because our self-sustaining system, like the apple, has had a bite taken out of it. That is the part of our DNA that has been removed the last time we went round this cycle. I'm not going to confuse you, but it's all to do with the holographic simulation. Factor is the fact that we're in a game and we've already been through this before, and we took the chip. We fell down into this consciousness level. We now need to put all those parts of ourselves back together again, remember who we are, and go back into the light. Get out of the game. We need to get out of this third dimensional matrix. So the people who are up here have climbed out and just jump. I'm probably talking to most people who are up here already, but even us, we need this right now. Everybody needs this right now. Everybody needs this strength, this courage. We all need to encourage each other and love each other right now. Thank you for being here, by the way. Much appreciated, because I'm making this for YouTube, but it's always nice if you do, and I'm doing it live because I've run out of room on my phone. It's always good if there are people actually holding space when others are speaking their truth and trying to help others. So thank you. Okay, so that's just what I wanted to say, that when you get to a place of enlightenment, you want to help others, and then it's always a bit like tricky to know how to help, because we can either say, look, my truth is the right truth, your truth isn't the right truth, but that's their truth for now. And so sometimes all we can do is hold space. And I know there's a lot of light workers out there doing meditations, singing bowls, just meditating and singing and dancing and just holding the light and listening and being coaches and counsellors. And we've been prepared for this time. So if you're watching it and you're struggling, no matter where you are on that scale of empowerment, if there is a problem, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling in the dark, if you know you should be doing something, you should be on mission, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling ashamed, let it go. Just let it go. Call in that fire within you, that flame, and burn that away, because that's not the truth, and it's holding you back. Like you're a hot air balloon, and it's got like ropes on the end of this hot air balloon with heavy stones, and it's weighing you down. It's time to cut the ropes. Let's just do that now. Let's just imagine that hot air balloon. Imagine the fire within that balloon. Okay, let's be the hot air balloon. There's the fire, and it's burning away all that darkness, and you can see it going up through into your chest, into the chest. This is where we hold a lot of fear, into the back, into the jaw, out through the arms. Let it tingle out right into the fingers, all the way down the legs. Let it burn away any darkness in the sacrum, and in the root chakra. And then we're just going to feel that burning away. We're going to feel that heat within our body. And we're just going to blow it out. And then we're just going to get our scissors. No, let's get big choppers. We're going to pick up pliers. No, not pliers. What are they called? Choppers. And we're going to chop, 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 chop. All the way around that basket. And then we are going to allow those rocks to just fall, fall, fall. Watch them fall. See them go. Take a deep breath in. Relax. And feel your body now. Lifting, 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 and relax. Feel that love in your heart. Feel that happiness of what you've just done for yourself right now. You have allowed yourself to lift. You've allowed your spirit to lift. You are now floating. Now, from this place, things look different because we can look over the basket and we can see all the people, and don't they look small? All those people that were worrying you, all that shit that was going on down there, it's miles away. You're above it all in your hot air balloon, and you're free, and you're flying around, free moving. Stretch your arms, relax, allow your body to move, hum to yourself. I'm free. I've liberated myself. I feel like a free spirit. My energy is lifted. And from this perspective, my choices are different. I choose to gently go about my day, moving into something, taking action, moving into something, getting it done, not worrying about other people, not worrying about myself. If I am the generator, overseer, and destroyer of all darkness, then I am fully creator of my own world. I can choose my perspective and I can choose my experience. And I choose to experience being in a hot air balloon right now. What do you choose? So that's my little chat for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you want to listen to the first two, they're basically just about the way that we can see the truth between the dark and the light in our world, see the truth of the tree of life, and how at this time we're being asked to choose the tree of life rather than the tree of knowledge. And that's all I have to speak about today. Choose the tree of life. The tree of life is love. The tree of life is light. The tree of life is truth. And it's the breath, it's the fire, it's the 4 seasons, and it's the 4 elementals, the earth, fire, air and water. Okay, so we're coming back to the basics, learning the basics, these things we should have been taught at school, but instead we were taught that we were not good enough. We are good enough. You are the earth, you are the water, you are the fire, you are the air. You are the seasons, you are the spring, you are the summer, you are the autumn, you are the winter. You are the drop in the ocean and the ocean in the drop. You are everything and you are nothing. As humble as the earth, as noble as the stars. Love, light and truth is all. Take care. Bye. Mwah.